We are here today as part of a campaign to inform the general public about the darker side of the new Kadampa tradition, a quasi-Buddhist religious group who wear the robes of Tibetan Buddhism while secretly conducting a worldwide defamation campaign to vilify, ridicule and humiliate the Dalai Lama, the beloved spiritual and temporal leader of the Tibetan people. They pursue the Dalai Lama all over the world in order to scream and shout abuse at him. They call him an evil, Nazi-loving liar. They liken him to Hitler. They describe him as the worst dictator in modern history. And most bizarrely of all, they say he is secretly a Muslim who is just pretending to be a great Buddhist master. They say they are attacking the Dalai Lama because he has taken away their religious freedom to worship a deity known as Dolgyal or Shugden. Yet the Dalai Lama has advised against the worship of this deity precisely because its function is to restrict religious freedom. The truth is that throughout its 400-year history, Dolgyal has come to symbolize the threat of violent retribution on those who stray from the sectarian teachings of a powerful fundamentalist clique. The name of Dolgyal is used by these sectarian Gelug Lamas to control their followers. Indeed, to this day, Shugden's name alone strikes fear into the hearts of many Tibetan people. It is to this clique of fundamentalist Gelug Lamas that the founder of the NKT, Khalsang Gyatso, belongs. He has organized the attacks on the Dalai Lama by his own cult followers in order to punish the Dalai Lama for turning away from Gelug supremacy and for embracing inclusive, ecumenical religious views instead. Thus, their claims of human rights abuses by the Dalai Lama are nothing but a smokescreen to hide Khalsang Gyatso's real motive of vengeful, sectarian bigotry, symbolized by Shugden. Neither Amnesty International nor the Indian judiciary have ever found any truth in the claims they make against the Dalai Lama. The truth is, the Dalai Lama opposes the Dolgyal practice because he is a protector of religious freedom, whereas Dolgyal Lamas seek to restrict religious freedom. As proof of the NKT's restrictive sectarian approach to the Buddhist teachings, one need only go to an NKT centre, such as Thekchen Centre here. You will find there only the books of Khalsang Gyatso. No other Buddhist teachers or Buddhist books are allowed in NKT centres because they are considered by the so-called new Kadampas to be impure. I am one of thousands of former members of the new Kadampa tradition with direct experience of the cultish nature of the group, who, since their inception in 1991, have been dogged by allegations of abusing and exploiting their members emotionally, spiritually, physically, financially and sexually. Behind their smiles, the NKT is an abusive, predatory group who always put the interests of their organisation above the welfare of their members. They have amassed a vast property empire with huge centres and palatial golden temples around the world, built largely on loans from members which they never repay, and on the back of the voluntary work of the residents of many of the British centres, many of whom, if not most of whom, live on British government state benefits. The NKT organised their worldwide defamation campaign against the Dalai Lama covertly, under the banner of a front organisation called the International Shugden Community. The International Shugden Community is an organisation that was created and is run by the new Kadampa tradition in order to carry out their anti-Tibetan political activities, while maintaining their financial status as a charity. They use the name of the ISC to hide their activities from the unsuspecting public and repeatedly deny any connection between themselves and the ISC. Yet for the last 2 years, whenever the Dalai Lama has made a public appearance in the Western world, the same rent-a-crowd mob of NKT members has turned up to insult and harangue both the Dalai Lama himself and all his devoted followers. Furthermore, all the named officials of the ISC are senior NKT teachers, such as Kelsang Lekma, resident teacher here at Thekchen Centre in Southampton. If that isn't enough to prove ISC is just a front group for the NKT, the ISC also shares the same official UK address as the NKT's North London Centre in Golders Green. Worse still, according to an investigation by the highly respected Reuters news agency published in December 2015, the Shugden sect, which consists mainly of the NKT in the West, has been co-opted by the Chinese government to operate in tangent with them in their efforts to smear the Dalai Lama, to destabilise the Tibetan community in exile and to damage the cause of Tibetan freedom. According to the Reuters investigation, backdoor funds and directives are issued to the group via a small group of Shugden Lamas in India. Most NKT members are unaware of this or are in denial of this, naively assuming that because they don't personally get a paycheck from Beijing, that none are being issued. Meanwhile, the Chinese government has been responsible for the murder of more than 1 million Tibetans since they illegally invaded and occupied Tibet in the 1950s, and to this day there is no freedom for Tibetans in Tibet. The situation in Tibet remains horrific today, where Tibetans routinely experience brutality, imprisonment, torture and murder at the hands of their Chinese oppressors, who are robbing, exploiting and destroying their land, their history and their culture, while the world turns a blind eye to what they're enduring for the sake of Chinese money and for the sake of Chinese investment in Western economies. Therefore, we urge members of the NKT to wake up.